Side 3. Brian and the Highway Code. Brian was having a little sleep indoors, and when he woke up he found a notice stuck to his shell. It said, "No parking on the zebra crossing. Signed, Dougal." No parking, no parking. I wasn't parking, I was sleeping. So he asked Dougal about it. "You were parked on a crossing." "I wasn't." "Oh, yes, you were, and you still are." "But how can I be parked when I don't have a car?" "For the purposes of the law, you are a car. A shell counts as a car." "But it's my house." "That's even worse. A house on the road, whatever next. But my house follows me everywhere." "No good making excuses." "I think you're being unreasonable," said Brian. "I can't help it if I have to carry my house with me, can I?" "You could move, couldn't you?" said Dougal. "But I'm a snail." "So you say." But Brian got tired of arguing and went back to sleep. Zebedee, too, asked Brian if he knew he was sitting in the middle of the road. "Yes, I've been told." And Florence, who was tired of waiting for everyone, decided to go to the garden alone. While she was there, she met Dougal, not entirely surprisingly. Dougal told Florence all about Brian being parked in the middle of the road. "It's very dangerous." "But he hasn't got a car," said Florence. "He parked himself." And he told Florence about putting a notice on Brian's shell and telling him about road safety. "Road safety is important," mused Florence. "I suppose it's difficult for snails to understand these things." "Well, I don't think there's a section on snails in the Highway Code," said Florence. "There's a section on parking houses in the middle of the road, I expect." Poor Brian. It must be very difficult carrying his house with him, but there it is. It's nature. 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 Dogs don't carry houses. Dogs are different. It's just as well. Just then, Brian came along. "We were just talking about you," said Florence. "Snails have a hard life," said Brian, sighing. "Poor Brian," said Florence. "Ha," said Dougal. And Zebedee said, to no one's surprise, "Time for bed." Cabbages. Florence, carrying a number of parcels, asked Zebedee what snails liked to eat. "I think snails like cabbages best." "Oh, good," said Florence. "So do I." "Really?" said Zebedee. Florence looked for Dougal and Brian, and there they were. "Must you follow me about?" asked Dougal. "You're my friend," said Brian, following Dougal. "I was afraid of that." "What's that, Dougal, friend?" "It's a book." "A book, Dougal, old mate, but dogs can't read, can they?" "I'll bet they can read as well as snails." Florence wanted to know what sort of book Dougal was reading. "It's a picture book with pictures of all sorts of things, all sorts." So Florence had a look, and so did the snail. There was a picture of a cabbage in the book, and Brian ate the page. "Did you see that? He ate a page of my book." "He thought it was a cabbage," said Florence. "He ate a page. He ate a page. You ate a page out of my book." "Sorry, I thought it was a leaf." "Very funny, I'm sure. It looked just like a cabbage. It was meant to. It was a picture." "Picture of what?" "A cabbage." "I hope eating that cabbage picture doesn't make you feel ill," said Florence. "Funny you should say that," said Brian, who was looking very ill indeed. "I thought it didn't taste quite right." Then Florence said she had a present for both of them. Some sugar for Dougal. Naturally, Dougal unwrapped his parcel and gulped down the sugar straight away. And a cabbage for Brian. "I couldn't eat another thing. I'll keep it for another day then, said Florence. Thank you. Not at all. And Florence told Zebedee all about it. I told you snails liked cabbage. Snails dote on cabbage. And he laughed. Time for bed, he said. Dougal's memoirs. Florence told Zebedee she hadn't seen the birds or the cow or the train recently. Haven't you? Said Zebedee. Dougal has. And he laughed. Florence asked Dougal what he was doing. I'm thinking of writing my memoirs, and some people had better watch out. Secrets will be revealed. Just then 2 birds flew in to say hello. Hello, hello, said the birds. Oh, hello, said Florence. I was wondering where you were. We've been for a long walk. They are funny. I may put them in my memoirs if I have a spare page. Oh, wait for me, Dougal, said Florence. But Dougal was busy. He met Ermyntrude at the gate to the field. Hello, Dougal, you dog, said Ermyntrude. Good morning, madam, said Dougal nervously, and he went on his way. Hello, Dougal, you dog, said a flower. Good morning, miss. Hello, Dougal, you dog, said the train. This is getting monotonous. The train whistled. Good morning, train. And then Dougal got the feeling that he was being watched, and he was being watched. For Brian was in a tree, and Dougal looked up at him nervously. I like you, said Brian, and he laughed like anything. He laughed so much he shook the tree. Where are you, Dougal? Said Florence. Dougal, called Ermyntrude. Dougal, called the train. Dougal, said Brian. Where are you, Dougal? Said Florence. He's lovely, said Ermyntrude. He's lovely, said the train. I like him, said Brian. Why is everyone being so nice to you, Dougal? They're frightened about what I might say in my memoirs. The pen is mightier than the sword, so you can all watch out. We don't know what you mean, they said, and left. Where is your pen, Dougal? Said Florence. Oh, you. And Zebedee came in with a butterfly on his head, which was unusual, and he said, Time for bed, which wasn't unusual. The Snail Patrol. Dougal was feeling very cold. Ooh, brrr. What's the matter? Said Zebedee. I am frozen. It's so cold. I thought it was quite warm. Really? Lucky you. And his teeth chattered so much, Zebedee got worried. Run round, take some exercise. And he left. I've tried running round, and it's very exhausting. Hello, old shivering mate, said Brian warmly. Got a cold? There's no need to be so bright. Tell me all about it. I'm your friend. I'm cold. Tried running about? Yes, I've tried running about, said Dougal, shivering more than ever. Tried jumping up and down. Will you stop suggesting daft things? Sorry, old fractious friend. I was cold once. You jumped up and down, I suppose. No, I lit a fire. Now, for once you've had an idea. You just need some sticks and some paper and some coal and some matches. Is that all? And they told Florence all about it, and she said she would help make the fire. So they all went to collect some wood. Enough, said Dougal. Plenty, said Brian. And we'll need some paper, said Florence. It'll need something to get this lot going, said Dougal. Florence found some paper. Not today's, is it? Said Dougal. Does it matter? No, not really. Now all we need is some matches, said Florence. I knew there'd be a snag, said Dougal. They went to Dougall's to see if they could find some matches, but they couldn't. "No matches," said Dougal. "Try rubbing 2 sticks together." "Oh, try rubbing 2 snails together if you're not careful." "Don't think that would work." "Be worth a try, though," said Dougal. "Don't be like that," said Brian. Florence was still busy with the fire. "We'll get warm somehow, old mate, don't worry." And Florence had even found some coal, but still no matches. "Could you light these, Brian?" "Of course, I was a Boy Scout." "What patrol?" said Dougal. "The Snail Patrol." But Florence thought they'd better ask Zebedee to help. "Try jumping up and down," said Zebedee. "Stop saying that." So Zebedee did a little magic and produced an electric blanket. "Marvelous," said Dougal. "Isn't progress wonderful?" "But why were you so cold?" said Florence. "Yes, why?" said Zebedee. "Well, I saw a bucket of ice, and I thought it was sugar, and I fell in." "Is that blanket plugged in?" hissed Brian. "Don't tell him, but no," said Zebedee. "Good night." Brian, Brown Owl. Florence asked Zebedee what she should do today. "Can't you think of anything?" "No." "See what turns up then," said Zebedee. "All right," said Florence. But when Florence got to the garden, there was nothing going on. "I wonder where everyone is." Dougal and Brian were camping. Reminds me of my scouting days," said Dougal. "Were you a scout?" "I was." "I was a brownie," said Brian proudly. "A brownie?" "Yes, Dougal, old mate, a brownie." "You couldn't have been a brownie. You're not a girl." "Well, I thought they had a prettier uniform, and it was ages before they found out." "I don't believe a word of it." So they finished putting up the tent. "Won't Florence get a surprise?" said Dougal. "A brownie." There was someone else in the garden, too. Dylan was tuning his guitar and humming tunefully. Suddenly a string broke. Dylan looked at the broken string. I broke a string." And so he looked about, as you would for another one. And then he saw a 10th string vibrating. "Music, man, music. Lucky me." And he took the string from Dougal's tent. Meanwhile, Florence had met up with Dougal and Brian. "Hello, hello, hello," they all said. "We've got a surprise for you," said Dougal. "Big surprise," said Brian. "What is it?" "You'll see." "Show the way, Brown Owl." "Brown Owl? Who's that?" "He's joking," said Brian. "Everyone knows I'm a snail." "Oh, come along," said Dougal. So Florence went to see the surprise, and she wasn't the only one. Dylan was strumming quietly in front of the collapsed tent. "What's all this?" said Dougal loudly. "Greetings," said Dylan, playing a few chords. "Greetings, greetings." But Dougal was not to be greeted. He was furious about the tent. "What about the tent?" "We can put it back up," said Florence reasonably. "Put it back up, man." "You've taken the string," said Dougal. "I need the string." "He needs the string," said Florence. "He needs something, and he'll get it if he's not careful." "We must think of something," said Florence. We must think of something, man. I've thought. Give me the string back." But just then Brian arrived with something wrapped round his horns. "What have you got there?" said Dougal. "Tent rope." "Oh, Brian, you are clever," said Florence. "Am I? I just thought it might come in useful, that's all." So with Brian's rope they put the tent back up. Didn't think he had it in him. Didn't think what, Dougal, old dog? Nothing. Real clever snail. Should go far, like, succeed in life. Florence looked at him. Try and be a little more careful in future, and now play as a tune. Oh, mood's gone, man, mood's gone. And he left. Don't hurry back, said Dougal. Ah, well, said Florence, all's well that ends well, I suppose. And she thanked Dougal and Brian for the surprise and gave Dougal a piece of sugar. You're lovely, Florence, said Dougal. Bed, man, said Zebedee. The rocking chair. Florence told Zebedee that she was feeling a little tired and would just like to take a short, restful walk. In the garden? I think so. Good luck, then, said Zebedee. Thank you, said Florence. Dougal was taking a walk, too, and quite fortuitously he saw a rocking chair. A rocking chair, just what I've always wanted. Oh, joy and delight. But Dougal's joy and delight were short-lived. Hello, said Brian. Oh, hello. Is, that your rocking chair? Ah, yes, I found it. It's just what I've always wanted. Dougal thought very hard. What are you thinking about, old thing? Oh, nothing. Go on, tell me, go on. Oh, it was just that I was out for a walk and I saw something, but you wouldn't be interested. What was it? A lettuce, said Dougal casually. A lettuce? Yes, a huge lettuce. Amazing, really. Must have been nearly as big as you. Really amazing. Well, I must be off. Goodbye. Wait, you haven't told me where it is. Where is it? Haven't I? Oh, it's quite close by. Why don't you go and see? And Dougal thought his plan to get Brian out of the chair had worked, but as he discovered, the best laid plans of mice and dogs sometimes go wrong. Shall we go then, old lettuce hunter? Wait there, rocking chair. I'll be back soon, whispered Dougal. Come on, nuisance. Florence, meanwhile, had a restful walk, and she found a rocking chair, too. Oh, just what I've always wanted. Good morning, said Mr. McHenry. Good morning, said Florence. Is that a rocking chair? Yes, it is. Just what I've always wanted. Haven't you got one? Is this one yours? No, I found it. I think it's been abandoned. Would you like it? Well, it's just what I've always wanted. So Florence said she thought Mr. McHenry should have the chair, especially as he'd always wanted one. So he took it. I'm so happy, said Mr. McHenry. I'm so glad, said Florence. Dougal, meanwhile, had managed to lose Brian and was hurrying back to his rocking chair. Oh, I can't wait. Rock around the clock. Hello, Dougal, said Florence. Hello, Florence. Where is it? Where's it gone? Lost something, Dougal. No. Have you been here long? And Florence told him that she hadn't been there very long, but she'd been for a walk and seen Mr. McHenry and had given him a rocking chair and... Wait! A rocking chair. Ah, I fear the worst. Oh, was it yours? In a manner of speaking, yes. I thought it had been abandoned. Yeah, it's just that I'd always wanted one. I'm so sorry, but I didn't know. And she told Dougal that if he went to see Mr. McHenry, he would be sure to let him have a rock, and Dougal thought this was a good idea. Oh, he may have some sugar too. And Florence waited to see Zebedee to tell him all about it. A rocking chair, said Zebedee. Just what I've always wanted. Time for bed. Hunger pangs. Dougal was having a little trouble with a tin of fruit he had acquired. What have you got there, old mate? Said Brian. Oh, really? I thought it was a bicycle. Oh, highly witty. But you'd be better employed helping me open it. And when he told Brian it was fruit, Brian was very anxious to open it. You haven't got a tin opener about you, I suppose? It's funny you should ask that, said Brian, because I haven't. Typical. I'm a useless snail, said Brian happily. So Dougal decided they would have to have outside help with the tin, and he thought that Florence would probably have a tin opener, so they called her. Florence! 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 You! Florence! You! Someone call, said Zebedee. Florence, you've changed, said Dougal. I'm not Florence. I'm Zebedee. I'm so sorry. Dougal and Brian said they did need Florence, so Zebedee said he would get her, which he did. Now, Dougal and Brian want you. I wonder what for, said Florence. Yes, I wonder. So Florence went to see what Dougal and Brian wanted. What do you want? Have you a tin opener, said Dougal. A tin opener? Just an ordinary tin opener. But Florence said she didn't usually carry a tin opener about with her, and she asked Dougal what he wanted it for. I want to open a tin. Brian decided that the conversation wasn't getting anyone anywhere. I think I'll go and get a lettuce before we all starve. Dougal was beginning to think that the tin would never be opened. Shall I try a hammer? I think it might be a bit dangerous, Dougal, said Florence. What about a saw, then? But Florence didn't think that was a good idea either. I have a feeling we're not getting very far, and I'm hungry. Want to try a piece of lettuce to stave off the pangs, said Brian. To what? And you're not being much help either. Don't be like that. Florence thought of Zebedee. Someone thinking about me, said Zebedee. So they asked him if he could help with the problem. You need a tin opener. Brilliant, said Dougal. A tin opener. A tin opener, all right, said Zebedee, producing a tin opener. And Brian and Dougal said, thank you very much. Don't eat too much before bed, said Zebedee. Tell Dougal he's got the